Hello, Lisa. How you doing today?
Good, thanks for being here.
Well, tell us more about the foundation. That's where I want to start.
Okay. Well, the High Desert Community Foundation was actually started as a family foundation by the Kramer family of Apple Valley, primarily Maggie Kramer, and it started as Streams in the Desert. Later on, it sort of transformed into a community foundation where more people from the community became involved and were able to expand the reach and the services by doing so. Community foundations are not a real common household name for most people, but they really exist for the concept that the people that are living in the community really best understand the community's needs.
What are some of the foundation's goals?
Really, it's kind of to make everybody a philanthropist, I guess, is really to simplify it, or to make everybody realize that they can be a philanthropist and that they can have impact on their community, whether it be today or next year or maybe in their future. We do have people who have named the foundation in their wills or in their trusts to ensure that their legacy lives on in the areas that they care about.
Right.
I can give you a great example, and it's very timely too. One of our major donors was Trevor Bennett. She's a wonderful artist up here in the high desert, and you can see we have a lot of her paintings around the office. She cared deeply about teaching people about art, and especially children. She went to our schools and worked with other people, and she had quite a following up here in the high desert. Well, she started a art scholarship fund, and that fund was to do things like provide some funding for a student going on to college to study any form of art. When she passed away, that became a memorial scholarship. So one of the things that we're doing right now, we still do the art scholarship, but we are serving as the major sponsor for the Festival of the Arts coming up tomorrow or Saturday at the Lewis Center, and that is a community event that it really encourages art and encourages people to participate in it. And Trevor has left a significant endowment so that we're able to do that forever and ever and ever.
Outstanding.
It is really,
Yeah.
it's really amazing.
Those are the kind of things that we really need in our community. So that, to be commended to do something like that.
Well, absolutely. And when we look at things like how should the board of directors, which are leaders in our community, and I'm sure if you looked at our website, you probably know all or most of them. They really take into consideration, as do I, what would that donor want us to do with that money? And so it requires that you really know about the donor to some degree, and we really try very hard to honor what Trevor would have wanted us to do with her money. So as nonprofits can come and go, there might be somebody who wants to donate, say, to animal welfare, but sometimes the nonprofits change. Where if you open a fund with us and say, I want this money to always be used to benefit animals, our board of directors, whether it's now or 50 years from now, they can say, what's the need in the community for animals at this point in time?
Okay. So any other kind of programs similar to that you can give me some stories about?
Oh, we have so many funds. We call them affiliate funds, and many of them operate sort of as mini nonprofits or even bigger nonprofits. And coming under our umbrella gives them that 501c3 status, but through extension of us. And it becomes a game changer for them. There is a fund called Kid to Kid Closet. You've probably read about it in the newspaper. It's just a few moms a few years ago. They started trading their kids' clothes. Your child outgrows something, and here, take our clothes that are in the next size up. And it grew a little bit, and they were doing it out of their garage, and then they went over to Hawthorne Suites, and they grew and grew and grew. And now they have about 900 families in the high desert that they serve on a regular basis. They're all volunteers. They came under our umbrella, so they got any donations to them now become tax deductible. So they've engaged Kohl's as a community partner. They now get all kinds of donations. They were able to secure a grant from City of Hesperia because of their nonprofit status. And it has really, like I said, become a game changer for them. They've been able to move into a location so they're not hauling stuff around all the time. And it allows them to provide better services.
What other benefits does joining this foundation give to those local entities that wish to expand?
Well, some of them are very tangible, such as we provide quite a bit of administrative services. We do the bookkeeping, we do the IRS reporting. If somebody makes a donation, we send a receipt to the donor. We have a way for people to donate on PayPal through our website. So there's a lot of those things that are real tangible that keep people out of trouble. I don't know if I mentioned we file the tax return every year, which is a big deal. We register with the Secretary of State, so we take care of a lot of like the little things that sometimes really get nonprofits hung up because they just really don't have the time to do that because they're busy saving animals or helping people or feeding the hungry. They're busy doing their mission. So we kind of relieve that a little. But the sort of the intangible thing is the connection that happens, the connections that happen here. Because we are so aware of what's going on in the community, because everybody tells us, and we are out there and we try to make sure we know. We connect people. We use the word connect here a lot. There's been times where people have come into this office for different affiliate funds, and they left here working together. And it happens all the time. Right. And it allows everybody to operate more efficiently, more effectively, and not only that, the morale boost is huge. It's huge. And I'm sure if you talk to any of our affiliate funds, they tell you the same thing.
Well, one of the challenges I've seen, at least in Apple Valley, is over 200 nonprofits just in Apple Valley alone. So all through the high desert, there's quite a few. But the reality of it is, some people make a nonprofit trying to cover a void that's already really been covered. And it's the redundancy that causes some other problems. So going through the fund seems like it streamlines that process a little bit, and people can build on some synergies.
Well, in a perfect world, everybody combines resources and they all put all their efforts toward one singular goal. But what we really have is a lot of people who volunteer thousands and thousands of hours on their time, which is a huge gift to the community. And they want their own, they have their own particular target area niche, or their own, yeah, they do. And so it is great when they work together, but some of them really have the heart to do it the way that they want to do it, or they want to do it in honor of somebody. So it's really becomes kind of personal to them. Mm-hmm. And just in terms of manpower, the personnel hours that are dedicated to this community, absolutely free of charge to this community, is astounding.
Right. Well, I know we're very giving in high desert, so that is true.
The high desert is just full of generous and caring people.
Right, perfect. So tell me some more about the fund. I want to know as much as possible. This is so exciting. When I found out that you were in charge of it, I knew it gave it an air of extreme credibility. So talk to people about some of the other partnerships you have.
Well, it is very exciting to work with the community. One of the partners just kind of came on board recently. You've probably heard Victorville Motors does their It's a Gas to Go to Class, which is a big deal because it really encourages kids to get to school, because if they have perfect attendance, they get to participate in a drawing for prizes, and they've given away cars, and that's a big deal. Yeah. And that's a game changer for a lot of people. And this year they're actually going to give away 2 cars. So, you wake up in the morning, should I go to school today or not? And you think, they got that, those prizes, and they give away things like iPads, gift cards. I mean, it's not just the cars. So there's many, many winners. So we've partnered with them. They're one of our funds. Hesperia Police Activities League, been doing good work for a long time in the community. But again, there's that administrative piece that was kind of taking their time, and sometimes they have people come and go. They wanted the continuity, they wanted the transparency. They wanted to focus on the kids instead of the paperwork, so we're able to help them with that. Orenda Foundation, it's a veterans project up here. They provide sober living for veterans. So we work with them. We are also a partner of the Apple Valley Home Depot. We're their exclusive community partners, so we get called from time to time saying, hey, we have a load for you to pick up. It's all donated items that the store cannot sell for one reason or another. Sometimes it's really super minor. And we've been able to get those items out to the community. Renda Foundation, High Desert Outreach Center, and some of our other funds, we've been able to help them with things like showers and toilets and mini blinds, all different kinds of things that help them to do their mission.
If you are already a nonprofit entity, can you still join?
Yes, you can. What happens is you fall under our board of directors and our articles of incorporation and our bylaws and such, and our board actually approves all of the financial activity. Mm-hmm. So you don't, one of the major benefits is you don't have to go through that 501c3 process. Mm-hmm. And some of our funds, they come here for a time until they can get their 501c3 process because they really want to do their own thing. But it is a time-consuming process. It takes a long time, as you know. You're dealing with the IRS. It takes a while to get that determination letter, and you have to do all the steps. So for us, it's a success. If somebody comes under our umbrella and they grow to the point that they want to do it themselves, we shepherd them along and work very closely with them and do what we can to help them, even if that means they leave us. That's a success story.
It's like you guys are doing great work here.
You know what? I love being here. Every day it seems like there's another story. And what you really see here is we help people to help people and animals. We do have a lot of animal lovers up here, and they are a really dedicated group of folks. But that's what we do is we're kind of like the wind beneath the wings. We never want to take the front seat. We just want to be there to help and encourage and support and make sure everybody's staying within the guidelines so that they can stay out of trouble with the IRS and other entities.
Well, I didn't know about that until you mentioned a few seconds ago about the It's a Gas program. And then we partnered with them at our high school all-star game that we have, our annual high school all-star game. They did a great job, great partners. So it sounds like we are, again, the synergies are working together already.
Well, and what happens too is this is really a word of mouth thing. We've added the, I'm going to say it wrong, Heritage Victor Valley Medical Group. Mm-hmm. They are doing the Thin contest for kids. Last year they gave away big prizes to 4 kids, and they kind of did like a Biggest Loser type of thing, really focusing on fitness. And they're doing it again, they're expanding, and they came to us to handle that part of it. So again, that they can focus on those things. The Mud Jam, they're doing their second year in Hesperia this year to raise money for high school band programs. And they don't have to worry about, are our donors getting thanked? Are we in compliance? We handle all that for them. I have a great staff here. I have a couple young ladies that work here, and they love what they do too. This is a great place to work.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry. I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Well, besides this great work you're doing here, you're also on the Apple Valley Unified School District's board.
Yes.
Right. So let's talk about education for a few minutes. What is some of the biggest challenge you see in education today?
Well, we are really focusing on preparing our kids for the future. And I like to call it kind of jokingly, our motivation is we don't want our children living at home when they're 30. We want our kids to be successful, to come out of high school with the skills they need to get to the next level, whether that be to go to college, a university or community college, a trade school, the military, whatever they want to do, straight into an occupation. We really focus on making those connections now with the community. I know in Apple Valley, we've worked with folks over at SCLA, and there's a lot of back and forth now, and it's really directed at preparing our kids. As you know, we're getting away from the old testing, which I don't think anybody liked that. I know when I was a mom of a kindergartner and they were, being taught to fill in bubbles, I thought, this is just taking it a little bit too far. But it is the reality of the world we live in. So we're changing to the Common Core, and it's more about not telling kids what to think, it's teaching them how to think. And I think the teachers are excited about it. It is a change, but they're all working together in a positive way. I don't have to tell you, we've been under the gun with financial issues for years. In Apple Valley, we've done very well through the hard times. We've been able to keep class size reduction. We've maintained our school year days. We still have transportation. We've really worked very hard to focus on our priorities, and that is learning in the classroom.
We talked about this off camera, but that's a direct result, I think, from the board working together, respecting each other, as well as working with superior leadership. And Mr. Hogerman is one of those stars, I think.
I think the world of Tom Hogerman. He is a man of integrity. He's very bright. He is flexible. Does not have an ego. For Tom, if it's good for kids, it's good, period. And yes, I think choosing a superintendent is one of the most important tasks of a board, because your superintendent is the one that is overseeing the district. The board, we set policy and such, but that is actually the person who's in the trenches and the focus of the district. So choosing a good superintendent, it's obviously saved us financially because we haven't had to replace our superintendent. And it's not just the superintendent, it's all of the administration, it's our teachers, it's our classified staff, everybody working hard for kids. And I would like to think our board sets an example in that we're not concerned about being right or being noisy or causing any kind of disruption. We are all focused on the kids, and I think that's why you see some things happen more seamlessly in Apple Valley maybe than some other districts, and I think it's certainly why we've been able to ride out this economic storm as well as we have.
Not to get you into other kind of politics, but the college is having some challenges as well. Do you see the challenges that the college is having affecting the high schools in any way?
Well, I think certainly as you're getting toward your senior year in high school and you're having to make decisions about what you're going to do after high school, we want our kids to succeed locally if they can, and if that means they go to VVC, that's what we would like to see. I certainly hope the college is able to get things straightened out and really get on a positive trend, and hopefully that's started.
If you had to list three things that the school district should focus on the next year or so, what would they be?
Well, right now we really need to focus on making this transition to Common Core because it is the new standard and it's the reality of where we live. So we do need to focus on that and make sure that our staff has the training and the support and the resources they need to make that happen. We also need to focus on our graduation rate. And that's kind of a tricky thing because the reporting on graduation rates has varied over the years and it varies depending from district to district. But we do know that enough of our kids are not graduating. So regardless of what the actual rate is, or reported rate, we need to do a good job in that. And part of that is connecting kids. You can see at all of our high school, or both of our high schools and the High Desert Premier Academy, they're really working to connect kids to keep them in school. And sometimes that can be a sport or a club or maybe just activities, but so kids come to school and they feel connected and they feel safe. And also, I think we always need to keep the safety of our kids in mind, whether that's actual school security or transporting to and from school and the routes they travel on. So I would say those are the things we really need to focus on.
It just seems that the district seems to be so much more well managed than other districts. It just seems, when you read the newspaper of what's going on in different other cities, it just seems to be a complete different model. And I think it reflects, it kind of trickles down to what the kids feel about it as well. And you guys are doing a great job with the kids feeling that they're engaged and their leadership is engaged. But when you add that together, what do you think about the parents though? Are the parents as engaged as it seems the board is, the management team and the children?
Well, I could give you dozens of examples of great parents, and they're reaching out to our school district and they're donating hundreds of hours of their own time and their resources and supporting their kids and other people's kids. We can always try to do better, and we do, as we move into the Common Core, and we talk about, actually for the first time in many years, we talk about, there's, we're not making cuts right now, and should we start bringing back some programs and working with the parents about their priorities for their children. I can tell you, I have 2 kids in this district, and they are blissfully happy. They love going to school every day. You can walk onto our campuses and there's a good feeling about them. We have administrators that care, and for that campus, that administrator, that principal sets the tone for the school, and we have some really wonderful people.
Right. So I just think education is the foundation of any community.
Absolutely.
And the stronger that foundation is, the better off all the citizens are. Crime, you can add to it, other things fall in line if the education piece is tightened up.
Well, I think parents need to put their kids where they're going to be successful. And not every child does well, especially in the older grades, in a comprehensive high school. I can tell you this, I read every expulsion package, and expulsions, unless it's something like somebody brings a knife to school or something, that's egregious. Many of them are a process, and they've been going on for a period of time, and there's a long track record, and you see the effort to work with the student and to work with the parents to resolve those problems. And so if it gets to the point of expulsion, sometimes, quite frankly, I'm surprised that our teachers put up with as much as they do. Mm-hmm. I mean, they really do try to work with kids and help them. We do have the High Desert Premier Academy, which is kind of a new thing for us. That there's, it's a sort of online and in-class learning, so you're with a teacher, but it helps kids that maybe need to do some credit recovery, because to me, the worst thing you can do is take a 17-year-old with 30 credits and put them in a comprehensive high school. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be able to succeed. So what do you do when you go to school and you feel frustrated and like everybody else knows what's going on and not you? You cause problems.
Right.
Those kids, they can find a home at High Desert Premier Academy where they'll have a lot of mentoring and they'll have a lot of people that care about them and help them through the process. So I think we as a district, we need to sometimes you're so busy doing the work, you're not really doing a good job of promoting what you're doing. I encourage parents, if their kids are not fitting in or they're not succeeding in the traditional school setting, to look at the High Desert Premier Academy as a possibility, because we do want every kid to succeed. And the truth of the matter is, we have some kids that come to our schools and they have really difficult situations at home. Right. And we have family centers at several of our schools, and we provide support that way. We really try to help the whole family so that the student can succeed. And our teachers and our classified staff and all our administrators, they work really hard with those kids to help them succeed. But sometimes the best place for them is not on a comprehensive school. It's more individualized attention to help them to reach their academic goals so they can move on and succeed.
See, that's a perfect example of how, at least I perceive, the school district functions very well. You created another avenue that people can be successful versus a place you can put them and you can still get the average daily attendance, and you know good and well they're not going to make it through. So wait for them to turn 18 or 19 and move on. You seem to be focused more, speaking as a collective, the group seems to be more focused on the individual success of each individual student versus money, the average daily attendance piece.
Well, I could tell you, I'm required to think about money as a board member. There's no two ways about it. But I don't think that way about the kids. I think about the kids. If kids are enrolled in our district, I really hope they come to school, because they're not going to do well sitting at home. They need to come to school. They need to be, learning is a thing that you build on. They need to come to school so they have those successes and they can move through from grade level to grade level and have a clear understanding of what they're supposed to learn of the curriculum. So I just really feel strongly that, and I do feel every child can succeed. I mean, we have some wonderful stories of kids that you wouldn't have thought would do well. You know the statistics for kids in foster care.
Right.
We have a lot of kids in and out of our schools, and our staff does the best job they can with each kid for as long as they are there. And hopefully, if they do move on somewhere else, at least some seeds are planted and some success and some confidence is built in them. But yeah, we're not gonna get them all, but we're gonna try.
With that, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show today. You are one of the pinnacles in our society that people should kind of model themselves off of. You give to the community, you work with the foundation, you have supporting our kids, and again, I want to thank you.
Thank you, Jiles. I think we're all here to serve.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. Let's catch them before it's too late. To start helping students in your community, visit boostup.org.